Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Thought it would be a good night to come on stream. We'll just see what's going on in the crypto markets, maybe take some questions. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm just going to spend a couple minutes posting the stream in a couple different places, and then we will go ahead and jump in. How's everyone doing? Let me just post this in like 2 more places and then we will get into it. All right, so here we are again. Another night, another stream. So we're starting the night off at Bitcoin at 18.2. So we'll see where that takes us. And we're starting the night off with Ethereum at 487. And I just like, hourly candles, it's not like they're that important. Because when you zoom out, right, when you zoom out, who really cares about hourly candles, right? And especially when you look at, say, like the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, no one cares about a few 1-hour candles that are going up. But with that said, when we're on stream, we're not gonna watch weekly candles, right? This doesn't make sense. What are we gonna do? Just stream for 3 weeks? So we'll pull up some shorter time frame candles and maybe even look at 15-minute candles and see what Ethereum is doing. And you can see, we've been rallying for a few hours now. So we started off not that long ago, and Ethereum has rallied about 4% in a relatively short period of time. So yeah, so let me know what you guys are, what your thoughts are. We'll try to get into some questions as well. But yeah, how's everyone doing? I will try to answer you guys' questions if I can get to them. Before we get into it, what do you guys want to see tonight? So the main ones we'll watch. VJ has a good point. If we stream for 3 weeks straight, how can we jump back into the cryptoverse if we never leave it? But to be fair, I don't think many of us leave it in the first place. We just leave the stream and then we're somewhere else within the cryptoverse. So the main coins we're gonna follow tonight, and we'll take some requests. Maybe we'll pull up a few more coins that I don't normally talk about, but we're mainly gonna talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll also talk about Polkadot. You guys know this is one I've been talking about for a while. I guess mostly, probably not as much on the public channel, more so on the private one. But Polkadot is certainly one that I think is it's on my radar for sure, and I don't say that lightly, right? This is over here we were saying this is probably there's a really good chance that this is an accumulation phase that we'll look back on, right? And once we're off to the races, this will be a thing of the past. But a lot of this hinges, of course, on Bitcoin staying healthy, and there's no guarantee. As much as we all think there's a guarantee and want there to be a guarantee that Bitcoin will stay healthy, right? There is no free lunch here, and if Bitcoin comes back down, rest assured that most of these coins will as well. But so the main things we'll follow are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Link, and ADA. Actually, I don't think I have the ADA. Man, I developed a cough like 5 minutes before coming on stream. So I'll pull up the ADA chart as well, just to have it there handy, so we can check in on it. And remember, we like to follow the ADA Ether value. That's what I mostly like to follow, anyways. So we'll put that right there for safekeeping, so that we can check it. So here we are. Here's the ADA Ether valuation, and we're gonna mostly follow Bitcoin and Ethereum and see what goes on here. So I mean, really, uh, so there's of course a chance here that that Bitcoin rallies and Ethereum rallies. I think honestly it would be better for Ethereum if Bitcoin just kind of chilled out, right? Like if it could just stay put, that's what I would like to see, because if it rallies, then yeah, Ethereum will probably be drug up with it, but the Ether Bitcoin ratio will probably continue to fall. So that's something to keep in mind, is that yeah, if Bitcoin rallies, there's a good chance it could pull Ether up to 500. But at the same time, like, we're not kids playing in the sandbox here. We understand that, if Bitcoin's outperforming Ether, then that means, right? I mean, Bitcoin is where you would want, where you would want to be, right? And I mean, of course, most of my money is on Bitcoin. I mean, it's a majority of my portfolio. But with that said, if you're holding Ether, right, we're holding out hope that this ratio will turn around. And remember, I mean, I think patience ultimately is what will win the day, because we know, as we said in the stream many times, Ether doesn't tend to rally until a little bit, at least at the very earliest. It doesn't tend to rally against Bitcoin until Q1. So January, a lot of times, is when it rallies against Bitcoin. But there are times where the rally starts before, right? And we're gonna do a whole video on this. I was gonna wait till December, of course, and we're gonna do a whole video on exactly when it is. But I mean, if you take a quick peek, right, and you guys can pull this up on your own charts too, of course. But if you take a quick peek and try to identify, okay, where exactly did the rally start? We always just kind of say Q1, but where exactly did it start? Because a lot of times it's like it's a good buy in December, but that doesn't mean the rally started on January 1st. Sometimes the rally could have started earlier. So in 2015, you can see that the first green candle that ultimately led into this trend was the week of December 28th. But this major candle didn't come through until halfway through January. So this was a great example of it being a good buy in December and then it rallying in January. And I think the next one was a good example as well, because you can see that going down into throughout December it was bleeding, and then in January it turned around. And then there was one year. So this one was a year that I want you guys to pay attention to, because this one, it actually started rallying in December. So when we say it rallies in Q1, yeah, it can rally in Q1 because these candles right here are in Q1, right? The first couple weeks, but the actual bottom happened early December, right? So December 4th. And if you continue on to the next year, right? This one was a good example of it rallying mid to late December, right? And in fact, I mean, you would have been up 50 or 60% had you been buying in December earlier on, but a lot of the rally happened in late December. And I mean, it held it for a while, right? I mean, it held it throughout Q1, but the rally started in December, in mid to late December. So don't underestimate, like, don't assume that the rally can't start in January, because a lot of times it can actually kick off in December, and sometimes it'll kick off like the first week of January. But here's an example where it kicked off again in mid-January. So it basically bled and bled and bled, and then January 13th, the week of January 13th was the turnaround point. So three of the times it didn't turn around until January. Two of the times it actually turned around in mid to late December. Okay, so we're coming up on December, right? I mean, December is a stone throw away at this point. It's 11 days or 12 days, something like that. I know for crypto, that's like like an eon to think about waiting 2 weeks for something. But remember, we're looking at these macro shifts in the market, right? At the end of the day, we're looking at the macro shifts in the market. We're just going to keep an eye here on some of these coins, and the main ones I want to keep an eye on. Right? I mean, Bitcoin is at let's see. Okay, so there has been a little bit of a pullback while I was rambling. I am known to be the rally killer amongst many of many of the viewers here. There was the exception. The last stream, actually, we rallied during the stream, but I would say like 90% of the streams happen right when the rally gets killed. So we'll see if that effect happens again, because this stream has been going for about 11 minutes, um, and we're essentially down about 0.5% since I started on Ether. So we'll see what happens here. And Dot, let's see what Dot's doing. I imagine it's down a little as well. It's actually not. It's still at about 520 or so. Alex points out that during the stream where it was rallying, we did have the 1.2K drop in 1 minute. That is true. What kind of questions do you guys have? I mean, we can look at the macro scale, of course, and talk about that. But we do talk about that a lot in a lot of the videos that I do, like that I put out on like I would say daily basis, but let's be honest, it's more like a several times a day basis. Yeah, I use Matplotlib a lot. Has Link bottomed? I mean, it hit $7 or $8. That could be the bottom a few weeks ago. Someone says the Ethereum two-stake pool's growing slowly. Am I worried? Not at all. What I use for the risk metric of the color-coded graph, standard deviation, or a combination of metrics. It's a combination of a few different things. It's not the standard deviation. Yeah, Litecoin has been doing well. I think the last I checked, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's around $80 or so. I imagine that it's rallying on the idea, right? People are trying to front run the move that comes, historically speaking, when Bitcoin gets to a sustainable 20K. Okay, so I know a lot of people here are not interested in Litecoin. I also know a lot of people here have secret bags of Litecoin that they don't want to talk about. So we'll go ahead and briefly we'll pull it up, because I do imagine that there are people here that do want to talk about it a little bit. So if we pull up the Litecoin Bitcoin valuation, this is what's important, okay? And the Litecoin USD valuation really does not matter at all, in my opinion. So we're going to pull it up, and you look at it, right? And you say, well, it's rallying. Yeah, it is. And you note that we look back at the last cycle, and we see it rallied really three major times. All right, where were the three major times that Litecoin rallied? There's this one. You guys know what that one is, right? That's the one leading into the halving. So this was a major rally going into the halving, which we anticipated the same thing this past year, right? Last year, and it happened. Okay, so that was this rally. And then we had another rally when Bitcoin got to 20K. And this happened, or sorry, not 20K, or around 1100 or 1200 or so. And this happened in late March of 2017. We know that in late March of 2017, so let's go all the way back. So this was our top. We'll go all the way over. Delete this nonsense that I have on the on TradingView, and we can see that in March. So this was March right here. So February and March, it got above it, and then it came down below, and then going into the last week of March, and then this was the first week of April, and then that's when it continued on up. But it was right around this time, right around this time, that Litecoin started to rally. So if you look at the Litecoin Bitcoin valuation, you can see that if we zoom in, the rally for Litecoin started on March 6th. So the week of March 6th. The week of March 6th, and if you look at where Bitcoin was the week of March 6th, well, where was it? You can see exactly where it was. The week of March 6th. So the prior week, Bitcoin broke the prior all-time high. So February 27th, Bitcoin broke the prior all-time high. The next week, it was above the prior all-time high and sitting humdrum, not doing anything, except maybe wicking all the way down like 10% or something. But it was mainly up here, and it was during that point. That's when the Litecoin rally started in March, going into April, and then it finished the rally in May, and then it didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, it did rally a couple more times here, and then the final rally came at the end of the market cycle. So this was when Bitcoin hit its final peak, and then Litecoin had one more rally against Bitcoin. So I anticipate that what you're seeing now, and we've said this for a long time, right? This is likely going to bleed until Bitcoin gets to its prior all-time high. So I anticipate what you're seeing now are people jumping the gun, right? People saying, you know what, they're going to take the risk and say, I imagine the people that are buying here are just assuming that Bitcoin will get to above 20K in the short term. And so because of that, they're anticipating this type of a move. And it's, they're essentially taking that risk, right? They're saying, you know what, I'll buy Litecoin at 0.004 or whatever, and take the risk because they're anticipating this type of a move. But we know that the ROI of Litecoin against Bitcoin will likely be lower this cycle than it was last cycle. So maybe they're not anticipating this move, but maybe some approximation of that move, right? Slightly lower than this move. The downside, of course, is what if they're wrong, right? And I mean, they're paying for that return. They're paying for that higher return with more risk, okay? And the reason they're having more risk is because they're front running the idea that Bitcoin is about to break 20K, and there's a decent chance that Bitcoin breaks 20K. We only need to go up about 10% more or so. I mean, 10% more is another $1,800. That's essentially knocking on the door of 20K. So I imagine it's people front running that and saying, you know what, we're going to gamble, and suppose that Bitcoin gets to this point, they would rather try to catch the falling knife, so to speak, right? Try to catch the falling knife, and if it pays off, if Bitcoin does get to 20K and kind of sits there, then that could be the bottom, right? And so if Litecoin pumps, something like that, then they got in at the bottom, right? They got in at the bottom. However, I'm more risk averse, generally speaking. I don't want to front run this. I admit that I could miss out, and frankly, I just don't care. right? I really don't care. There's enough other projects that I'm interested in. The way in which I could see myself jumping in is really once Bitcoin is above um, the prior all time high, and at least at that point, even if that means, and by the way, just because Bitcoin gets above it does not mean I'm going to buy Litecoin. I'm just saying that I would not really consider buying it until that point. Right, and by the way, the prior all time high is not 20K; it's just shy of 20K. So you have to take that into consideration as well. So again, there's no free lunch, right? If you're buying Litecoin down here, you're just simply anticipating that you're buying it at this same point in the cycle, back in March when Bitcoin got above 20K and basically just hung around that region, right? So you're essentially banking on something like this happening. But again, the downside is you're taking on a lot more risk by doing it. It could pay off, right? I mean, you could look like the smartest person in the world if you're right and Bitcoin goes to 20K and this happens, or you could be a schmuck and you look back and say you front ran it and it maybe wasn't time yet. Because I mean we've had these moves, right? I mean, like we've had pretty interesting Litecoin moves. It's not that it never pumps against Bitcoin, right? It's just that the macro trend is down until Bitcoin gets to the prior all-time high. So again, this candle is still somewhat irrelevant, I think. As crazy as that sounds, I think it's still somewhat irrelevant. And if you take a measured move from here to where we currently are, it's still down 81% against Bitcoin. So it's still down a lot. So, certainly not something you want to hold during a bear market or even an accumulation phase. But we are getting to the point where it becomes, it becomes somewhat considerable, right? I mean, it's more considered now, I would say, than it was when Bitcoin was at 10K or 9K. And I made several videos. If you guys go look, I made videos talking about not only Litecoin, XRP also being one that they're really probably not going to make a huge move until Bitcoin gets to the prior all-time high. And I mean, Litecoin going from 0.0038 to 0.0045. This is not, I mean, we don't get out of bed for this, right? I mean, who cares, right? No one really cares. But, when the time comes and Bitcoin is above its prior all-time high, and if that happens sooner rather than later, then the people buying at this point might look smart. But as I said, I'm not buying at this point. And it's not that I think that it's going to necessarily continue going down, but it's just that I prefer to be more risk averse and not try to front run things too much, especially considering the route in which Bitcoin has taken to get to its current price, right? I mean, it's at 18K, but it was at 10K like 7 weeks ago. So if on the other hand Bitcoin were at, say, if Bitcoin had been going up like $1,000 a month for 10 months and it was at 20K or 18 or 19K, that might be a different story. But the route in which Bitcoin has taken to get to this point it definitely gives me pause in terms of thinking it's about to get to a sustainable 20K. I mean, it's possible, right? I don't want to say it's not possible. Anything's possible with Bitcoin. I mean, we could have a short-term bubble that takes us above 20K. I mean, no one really talks about that, or not a lot of people talk about it. I mean, I think most people think that if we get to 20K, there's going to be a correction. And there very well could be a correction. It's kind of like when we got to 10K, a lot of people thought we were going to come back down, and we did, but a lot of people thought we were going to go back down to like 7,800, 7,900, and we ultimately bottomed out at around like 8,600. So now, if we get to 20K, of course, that could be the local top, and we could come back down. But again, there could also be a bubble that takes us higher. So the thing I just want to say again with Litecoin, just to sum it up one last time, is that yes, this candle could be the beginning. It could be people trying to front run this type of a move, but it could also be too soon, right? It could be too soon because Bitcoin isn't there yet. It's not at 20K yet. And also, one other thing to consider is that the move that might take Bitcoin to 20K right? I mean, it would need to pump another like 10%. You have to consider that if Bitcoin were to pump another 10% in the short term, there's still a decent chance that the Litecoin valuation would bleed against Bitcoin. Okay, and we're not saying that the USD valuation necessarily needs to go down, but there's a good chance that the Litecoin valuation would bleed against Bitcoin if Bitcoin were to go to 20K in the short term. So it's just something to consider. Hopefully, that is helpful for some people. Let's take a look, see where things are. So Bitcoin's at 18.1. Ethereum is at 484-ish. So it looks like in the short term we did a great job of killing the rally. And DOT, on the other hand, is still doing its thing, and it's at 523. Remember, this is one we're going to follow this market cycle. I think we're still really early on. There's just not a whole lot of data, right? I mean, like, what am I going to do on a video? Just say, yeah, this is the accumulation phase. I mean, there's only so many ways you can say it, right? So, we'll see what happens with DOT. But this is certainly one I want you guys to keep your eyes on this market cycle, because I do think it has a good future ahead of it. And the only thing really holding it back, in my opinion, is just simply Bitcoin volatility. So I think that's the only thing really holding it back. Because I mean, like, $5. I know a lot of you guys are excited over $5, but right, we're not here for a $5 dot, right? We're here for a $50 dot, right? Then we'll talk. But yeah, we're not here for 5% or anything. So Link, we'll take a quick look at Link. It's still at 1377. Yeah, so again, Link is one of those coins that really will not make any significant, like, bubble-like moves against Bitcoin until Bitcoin calms down. So don't expect too much from Link in terms of its Bitcoin valuation until Bitcoin calms down. So we would want to see weekly candles, right? And not just like a day, right? I mean, a lot of people say, like, oh, Bitcoin went sideways for a day, therefore everything's going to pump. And there could be some days where those coins go up 10% or something. But again, we don't care about that. You're going to have wicks. We want to see a momentum shift, right? Where it turns around and starts going back up. That's what we want to see, not a daily wick or anything like that. So wouldn't expect too much out of Link in the short term. Yeah, I mean, it could rally, but I mean, who cares, right? We want to see the Bitcoin valuation change momentum. And you might be somewhat bearish about it. We've been in this position many times, right? We've been bearish here, and then we turned around and went higher. Bearish here, and then turned around. Bearish, turned around, bearish. And then, I mean, we've done it many times before. So it's still pretty much just business as usual for Link. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Remember, if you guys like the content, to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep pushing the subscribers higher. We just got to 50,000 subscribers like 2 days ago, and I think we're already at 52 now. So let's keep pushing higher, and remember to give the video a thumbs up. We have about 8 times as many viewers as likes. So let's try to give the video a thumbs up if you guys like the content. Roger Hill says you're not going to be able to get Litecoin for under $100 much longer. You could be right? You could be right, but it's not necessarily about the USD valuation. It's about the Bitcoin valuation. So I think that's what's more important in thinking about it. Okay, well, where is it in respect to Bitcoin? Like, is it worth holding over Bitcoin? And I don't think that answer is necessarily clear. Of course, if you're bullish on the market and you think Bitcoin's going to reclaim 20K, then of course there's a good chance that Litecoin's going to climb higher. That's not the argument. The argument is it going to outperform Bitcoin in route of Bitcoin to 20K? I think that's the real question that you have to really think about. Robert Hogan says, how do you plot the exponential regression bands on TradingView? These are not exponential, they're logarithmic. Exponential would imply they're going up exponentially, but with logarithmic, it means the faster growth happens earlier on. So it's logarithmic, and all you need, it's just Pine. You need to go to the Pine editor down here. So just click on the Pine editor, and then that's where you can code in and Pine script the whatever regression band you want. Well, it looks like so far we did our job of killing the rally. Let's actually switch this over to a shorter time scale as well. So this is the Bitcoin 15-minute chart. So we came on stream 30 minutes ago. So right up here, right up here. Timing the local top like always. I started following crypto in 2011. I did not buy it in 2011 though. I don't accept donations, Peter. But if you want it, we do have the premium list. That's the exclusive content, and we actually, as I've said on the last few videos, we have a Black Friday sale going on. So if you guys want to sign up, I'll put the link. It's in the description, but if you guys want to sign up, I'll put it in the comments as well. So check it out. It'll go on for 2 weeks. The promotion. So sign up before then if you guys want access to that, and you get access to the weekly reports, weekly videos, the alerts channel, the risk dashboard, some of the trading view indicators. So if you guys want these trading view indicators, you'll get access to it on there. A whole lot of stuff. So check it out. Are there some other charts you guys want me to pull up and take a look at? I mean, the market, as always, it seems like we've timed the local top. DOT's still doing okay. Ethereum and Bitcoin have both slightly pulled back a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on them. But are there any specific charts you guys are wanting to look at? Yeah, we'll take a look at Vechain. So this is one I've mentioned to you guys before, right? I did one video on Vechain. So if you're making the choice between, say, Vechain and Ethereum, I mean, certainly the trend right now would be more bullish for Ethereum than it would be for Vechain, right? I'm not really one to try to necessarily time these bottoms on some of these altcoins. But if you wanted to, I mean, you're getting into territory where you could start justifying it. Personally, though, like if it were me personally, I would want to, like if I were buying VeChain, right, I would want to buy it from a sign of Ethereum strength, right? So like imagine if like Ethereum is rallying like this, you know, then and if VeChain or say ADA or whatever it is not keeping up, then it would be bleeding, right? And so then if you decide to take profits on Ethereum, that might be like, say, a good opportunity to come in and scoop up like your favorite altcoin, whatever it is, whether it's VeChain, maybe it's ADA, right? Maybe it's this one, and you just want to come in and scoop one of those up, recognizing that the tops seem to be the same, but the macro trend seems to be down. But I mean, maybe it's going through these like types of like lengthening cycles as well, and we're just coming back down, and we're gonna head back up at some point, right? So I would personally want to, but I'm more risk averse. Maybe you guys have more maybe you guys are more aggressive, and you're okay trying to catch the falling altcoin knife. I generally do not like to try to catch the falling altcoin knife, and I'd rather wait and hopefully see a reversal, right, in terms of the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. So what I would want to see is I would want to see Ethereum reverse against Bitcoin, and I would want to see Ethereum rally against USD, and then I would want to see Vechain bleed against Ethereum. And then when I sell Ethereum, I could sell it into one of these altcoins to help reduce my risk and say, you ride the Ethereum pump, maybe, whatever percentage you want. And then if you take some profits, obviously not selling everything, because doing all in and all out is pretty ridiculous in my opinion, right? But you just say, if Ethereum goes up against Bitcoin over the next few months, and then Ethereum goes up against USD, and something like ADA is bleeding against Ethereum, or VeChain is bleeding against Ethereum, then you could maybe consider taking profits from Ethereum into an altcoin. And I mean, of course, there's a chance, right? There's a chance. Let's say you like both Cardano and VeChain, right? There's a chance let's say you decide not to buy them, and you stick mostly with Ethereum, and let's say this does play out where the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation goes back up and Ethereum USD goes back up, and then you go back and say, okay, I want to take profits. Where do I want to put it into? Well, you could come over here and say, well, what did VeChain do? Did it already go up? Right? Is it already back up here by the time Ethereum has pumped? I mean, if VeChain outperforms Ethereum in the next 2 or 3 months, then it's not like you're going to want to sell out of Ethereum and buy an asset that's nearing its local top against that asset, right? So if you see VeChain do, I mean, I don't think this is what VeChain's going to do. Let me be clear. But if VeChain were to do this, you might not want to go into that one, and then maybe you look over at ADA and you see it all the way down here, and you're like, okay, well maybe that's a way I could reduce my risk, right? I don't want to chase the coin that's necessarily at like the local top or the theoretical top that it's been at before. I'll move into the coin that has not moved yet, and it doesn't. I mean, it could be vice versa, right? I mean, maybe ADA pumps against Ethereum, right? Maybe ADA pumps against Ethereum in the short term and does something like this and takes everyone off guard. And then if Ethereum pumps and Ethereum hits whatever risk tolerance you want to sell at, and you see that the ADA ether value is up here at the time, you don't want to then go throw your money into the asset that's at the prior local top that it's hit 3 separate times. But then if you go over to the VeChain chart and say, oh, like, VeChain's all the way back down here, maybe I'll buy that one, right? So it's all about, it's not about day trading. It's not even really about weekly trading a lot of times. It's just trying to time the momentum shifts in the market. And I think that by following just a few coins, you can do that a lot more. It's much more practical to follow that than it would be if you were just, say, trying to throw money at a lot of different coins and hoping that one of them sticks, right? Again, the major three, right? The major three that I would look at would be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link. And then from there, I would say ADA and Polkadot. But if you're not a fan of ADA or Polkadot, you could substitute those for whatever other coin, right? I mean, it could be whatever altcoin flavor you have in your mouth this month, right? It could be whatever you want. I mean, this is not financial advice. I'm just trying to give you my perspective on the market. Remember to subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys subscribing. It looks like we're at 52,000 subscribers now. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content, and give the video a thumbs up. Let me just quickly see is dots at 521, Ether. Let me switch back to the hourly candles. Of course, the hour I come on stream, right? It's always easy to figure out what hour Ben comes on stream, because that's when it bleeds. Okay, I see a lot of people saying XRP. I mean, the thing with XRP is it's basically the same. It's basically the same thing, right? As Litecoin. It's really not that much different. I could give you the same speech, right? XRP pumped in March, right? When Bitcoin got to the prior all-time high, the XRP Bitcoin valuation, and it hasn't really done much of anything since then, right? I mean, let's not even take it from the wick. Let's just go from the candle. It's still down 90% against Bitcoin. So you got to be really careful with this one. And we don't care that XRP is at 30 cents, right? I mean, no one cares about that. Um, it's been between like 20 and 40 cents for years now. So this trend is a nasty trend. I mean, it's a nasty trend. And I don't want any part of trying to catch this falling knife. However, as I've said before, there is a time where I might try to catch it, and that's in the event that Bitcoin goes to 20K and it spends, a couple weeks above 20K, and if you see the XRP valuation dipping all the way back like down here or something, right? Then sure, sign me up. Maybe sign me up. But I'm not gonna try to front run an XRP move against Bitcoin when Bitcoin's not even at the prior all-time high yet. I mean, I get the idea of trying to front run it and realizing that maybe the market's becoming, more in tune to what's going on. And maybe there's enough people now that see what happened last cycle with XRP against Bitcoin, so they're trying to front run it. But again, it's a big risk because if Bitcoin does not get to 20K and then maybe let's say it bleeds back down to 16K or something, I mean, guess where XRP is going? It's going to continue going down most likely. So I would say be careful, right? And if you are buying XRP, maybe you're buying it at the bottom, right? Maybe you are. Maybe we're gonna look back and say, this was the smart money coming in at this point, or maybe you're gonna be the schmuck who bought it and then it continued to bleed because Bitcoin was not getting to a sustainable 20K in the short term. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I'm just telling you that I am not personally buying it right now. And if that means I miss out on a crazy pump, then so be it, right? I mean, it just is what it is. You can't catch everything. It's not about the return. It's about the risk-adjusted return. And selling my Bitcoin for XRP right now when Bitcoin's still not at 20K just does not make sense to me. So I'm not going to do it. Let me see if I have. Yeah. So someone says, let me pull up this presentation. So someone says, what about Chainlink? I'm trying to find where I thought I saw someone mention Chainlink, but now I don't even see the question. Um, oh, Ricky says on the other way around. Why is Chainlink number three? If Bitcoin bleeds to 16K or 16.5K, will Chainlink bleed less vis-a-vis Bitcoin? Well, um, one of the things we've talked about with Chainlink, right, is this is the linked Bitcoin valuation. Okay, this is the linked Bitcoin valuation. And one of the things you notice is that for the last 3 years, it has trended up, right? For the last 3 years, it has trended upwards. And we also know that for the last 3 years, Bitcoin has been very volatile, right? And when we say it trended upwards, we're not talking about 10%, we're not talking about 20%. We're talking about it's trended upwards by like 2 orders of magnitude. Okay? So, yes, if Bitcoin bleeds to 16.5K in the short term, Link will probably in the short term bleed as well. But if Bitcoin stays at 16.5K and gets comfortable there and nestles in and just kind of like chills out for a few weeks, Link is probably going to go on the move again, right? This is the Link Bitcoin valuation, and here we are, the Link USD valuation. You can see that historically speaking, when Bitcoin is above the 20-week, Link is pumping against USD. This and it typically so when Bitcoin first gets above the 20-week, this case it's different because Bitcoin had been above it for years, but Link just happened to launch at the end of 2017. It went parabolic. Bitcoin got above the 20-week here, Link went parabolic. Here, it went parabolic. You can see that it doesn't go parabolic immediately, right? It might spend a few days or a few weeks going down before it goes parabolic. Here's another example. It went down before going parabolic. Here, it kind of moved sideways for a few weeks before going parabolic. But the difference is that each time it goes parabolic, it then retraces, right? Because all good bubbles must come to an end. It retraces, and then it was always met with Bitcoin going below the 20-week moving average here, here, and here. This one was cut short. However, this one we have not seen that, and you can see that the trend is still up. I mean, maybe people are bearish about it because they have short-term memory loss or something, but I mean, look at this trend. I mean, it was earlier this summer where the price of Link was less than $5. It was in March when the price was less than $2. So this trend is still trending upwards. Yes, it might fluctuate by a few dollars, but what's a few dollars among friends, right? Who cares? Um, so I would say that if Bitcoin were to drop to 16.5K, you would probably see this one drop as well, but it might just be one of these little bunny hill fluctuations that we get. And then if Bitcoin say chills out at 16K or 17K or wherever, um, then there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing stopping Link from just simply continuing the rally, because what it wants is it wants Bitcoin to be above the 20-week and just to be generally bullish, to pump against USD and to pump against Bitcoin. It just doesn't. It just wants to be a lie. I mean, it doesn't really matter what Bitcoin's doing over the macro scale. Link is pumping against Bitcoin. Yeah, we have these little pullbacks, but again, it's par for the course, and you're going to see this type of stuff. Um, you're gonna see these types of moves, right? Local bubble, same thing over and over and over. And then when it gets into the green region, for the last 2 years, that was the turnaround point, right? Right here, here, and now we're there again. This is the Link Bitcoin valuation. There's no guarantees, of course, that this is the bottom, right? I mean, maybe we come back down and go back down to the blue area, but I would personally, if that were to happen, I would consider it an opportunity, not something that should send you running for the hills. But this at least can give you some guidance as to, are you FOMOing into the market at the local peaks like some people, or are you patient, saying, you know what, it's going to come down eventually, I'll just wait and then I'll get back in, right? And this is what the premium list is about. Remember, we are running that Black Friday special for about 2 weeks. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll put it in the comments as well. Again, but if you guys want to check it out, make sure you check it out. You'll have about 2 weeks. And again, here you can see the general reaccumulation phase of the Link Bitcoin risk metric, and then the local peaks. And then this chart here shows the sub-cycle ROI. So if you take these 3 lines here and just break those up into cycles and normalize it, that's what you get. So this was cycle 1, the yellow line was cycle 2, and then the blue line was cycle 3. So basically all 3 of them have yielded approximately a 10 to 20x ROI, 2 of them coming in around 9 to 10x, and then this one coming in at around 18 to 19x. And I like this chart. This chart shows the normalized ROI of Link, Ethereum, and Bitcoin since inception on a log scale. So you can see that Link has actually done very well, despite not really living through an entire bull market like Ethereum has. But let's get back to these charts and see what's going on. So it looks like nothing's really happened. Ethereum's still sitting at 484. Bitcoin is coming back up a little. It's at 18.1. Polkadot is at 518. So not too much has changed. Remember, we also do have a public Telegram channel. If you guys want to join it, I'll put it in the comments. And I'm also going to post another Telegram channel that I don't post very frequently, but I'm going to post it just because I know a lot of you guys have this itch that you want to scratch. So it's called Into the Cryptocosm, and it's meant for microcap discussion. So I'm going to post that one in the comments as well. So if you have a microcap coin you want to talk shop about with a few other people, and by a few I mean about 1,000 of your closest friends, you can join Into the Cryptocosm chat room. So for the micro caps, I would generally say, like, I mean, a lot of times when I think about micro caps, I would think about less than 10 million market cap, but that group also is for low caps as well, which I would consider below $100 million market cap. So the way I think of it, generally speaking, is if it's less than 10 million, it's a micro cap. If it's less than 100 million, it's a small cap. Less than 1 billion, medium cap, and greater than 1 billion would be a large cap. The way I think of it, anyways. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the micro cap chat room, but do not expect to find me in it very often. Usually I'll just come in to troll you guys and talk about the larger caps. I'm not trying to convince Dragon7. I'm not trying to convince you to sell your Ethereum. I don't know what you mean. I'm not selling my Ethereum right now. Sorry, there's a lot of people requesting coins. Yeah, Uniswap is one we've talked about before. We'll go ahead and pull that one up. I should say the the governance token. So this is the Uniswap governance token. This is also another one. We actually did a video on it maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I think this one's probably going to do pretty well at some point, but I don't think that time is going to come until altcoins start moving, and then people are going to start using Uniswap a lot, and this token's probably going to go up a lot, if I had to guess. But again, these are super risky plays, and like in my opinion, and this is not financial advice, but if you're purchasing coins like Uniswap, like it, I would never have this be a significant part of my portfolio, right? I mean, maybe a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage, and by that I mean like less than 1%. But it's a really risky one, right? It's very risky, but you can imagine with the right market conditions, the right type of FOMO in terms of people chasing altcoins, with Uniswap right now growing fairly quickly, their governance token could be one to keep an eye on. So yeah, I mean it's certainly one that it was airdropped to people, tons of FOMO, slow bleed. Maybe this is the turnaround point, maybe it's not, but I anticipate that it would start moving if altcoins started going crazy. We already looked at the XRP chart. I have no idea when it'll come back to. I don't know when Bitcoin would come back to the fair value. I mean, it could theoretically be years, right? If you zoom out, I mean, there have been times where we left the fair value, right, and didn't come back down to it, remotely speaking, for a couple years or more, right? Here's another example. We left the fair value. Here we came down to it maybe 600 days later or so. But there's a lot of times where it takes a while. So this one over here maybe took about a year. And this one maybe 2.5 years or 2.33 years or something. Well, I was hoping we would see some movement um, in the market, right? I mean, we had 4 or 5 hours of Ethereum. I guess this was 4 hours of Ethereum price appreciation. So I came on stream, and that was it. The same thing with Bitcoin, right? I mean, it started to recover a little bit, but yeah, a lot of altcoins follow very similar swings. We already looked at the ADA Ether valuation. Yeah, XMR. It's still up against USD, but with the Bitcoin rally, it's obviously lost Bitcoin value. And I would anticipate it's probably going to continue to lose Bitcoin value until Bitcoin calms down. But at least, I mean, I think it's still, what is it at, like 120 something? Um, so it's still not doing too bad against USD, but the sad part is against Bitcoin. Yeah, it's at 119. Um, but yeah, against Bitcoin, it's really taken a hit the last few weeks. Like most coins, right? I mean, most coins have taken a hit with Bitcoin going from 10K to 18K. Man, I don't know, guys. I just got hit by this like wave of being really tired all of a sudden. So I might actually call it a night soon. Should I leave so the rally can continue? You know what? I think we're probably going to call it. I mean, I'm honestly just really. I feel like the rally's not doing anything, so it's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Um, and we've gone through the coins. You guys know the deal. You know my opinions about a lot of them. A lot of the coins you guys mentioned that I haven't talked about. I don't think their trends are a whole lot different. But I feel like we should just call it a night. There's going to be plenty of nights this market cycle where we can enjoy the price going up, but I don't think right now is going to be one of them. And of course, right? Of course, wait for me to go off stream, and after I go off stream, watch for this to turn around and continue going up, and then we'll say, yep, that was the hour that Ben came on stream. So with that said, remember to we do have the Telegram channel. Let me post the Telegram channel again, just so you guys want to join, you can. And also remember that we have the Black Friday sale. So normally I'm more excited about this, but I don't know if it was like some type of crash or what. But check out the Black Friday sale if you guys are waiting to get on the premium list and just haven't pulled the trigger, and you can test it out. If it's not your thing, that's fine. But remember to subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content. Give the video a thumbs up. I will see you guys next time. Bye.